While taking online classes, it has become a regular scene that the teachers are coming across with little unpleasant situation. My today's message is for those sick people only, children. Those who abuse, the sin is yours, the crime is yours, and those who blaming victims make them as guilty as those who abuse. So stand up for the innocent and go down for the abusers, I will say, children. Children, I have decided that from today we will start a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Combustion and Flame. A co-related chapter we already have studied, that was your coal and petroleum, and in that chapter we have gained good knowledge about the combustible substances, because the coal and petroleum are the combustible substances, they are fossil fuels. And in this chapter we will understand that what chemical reaction or what reaction, I will say, I am not disclosing it now, what reaction takes place or what process takes place when those combustible substances catch fire. This is my topic of today. So we will discuss about the combustion, and we will gain knowledge about the little different parts of combustion in this class. What are the types of combustion, what is the history of combustion, children. I will keep telling you in this class. So just listen carefully and get benefited. So the most important and big question here is that what is combustion? The combustion actually is a chemical process, children, and nothing else. It is a chemical reaction between fuel and oxygen. Fuel is the combustible substance and oxygen is the air. So we know you have an idea about it. I think that without air nothing can burn, and you have done different activities in your childhood also, like burning the candle and inverting it, and then watching that after some time candle puts off. So this gives us an imagination and idea that without air nothing can burn. So naturally, when the fuel is a combustible substance and it is provided oxygen, which is the active part of the air and responsible for burning the substances, then the fuel will burn, and when it will burn, then it will do a chemical reaction, it will be a chemical change. And as you know that after every chemical change some new substances are produced, so and heat energy, light energy, etc. will be produced with carbon dioxide gas. So this is combustion. Roughly I am saying combustion looks visible when we realize combustion, when we see that the combustible substance is burning with flame. Flame is the visible part of combustion, children. Flame, which is also we call fire or agni or आग जिसको कि हम लोग कहते हैं, that is visible combustion. So this is the visible part of the combustion, and this is also called fire. And what is the heat energy that is given by the combustion? The heat energy is very large. Heat energy is very large. There are so many types of chemical reaction after which the heat energy is given, like neutralization and all, but those heat energy which is given in that type of reaction are not as large that we can perform any task by using that heat energy. But when we are performing combustion reaction, means if we are burning any substance, then the heat energy is produced so sufficient that it can complete any task if we have used a good combustible substance, then only. And I have given you idea earlier also that when any change or any process or any reaction produces heat energy, then it is called exothermic process, means it releases energy in the process, and that is called exothermic process. In the exothermic process, the heat is given to the surrounding, and here since the fuel burns, and after burning it produces heat, and that heat is gained by the surrounding. So it is an exothermic process. Now try to understand that how do we, when I am saying that combustion is a chemical change, then we always represent the chemical change in the form of chemical reaction. So here also we can represent it in the form of chemical reaction easily. Like you can see here, hydrocarbon. What is hydrocarbon? Just remind me. It is nothing but the fuel, which is your petroleum products are hydrocarbons, and coal products are just carbon. So hydrocarbon is your petroleum product, any fuel, and when it burns, it will burn in the presence of oxygen. So plus oxygen will be compulsory here to write, and this is your sign of formation which we give to represent these became the reactants, hydrocarbon plus oxygen, and when they are combining together to bond, they are giving product products. What are the products here? Carbon dioxide, water vapor will be released after every combustion, and heat energy. So these three are the integral part of combustion: carbon dioxide, water, and heat energy. This will be 100% produced after the combustion reaction, no less than that. These three will be always present when we are burning any substance as product. So what are the simple examples of combustion? Like we burn coal to heat our houses, etc. So that example in the form of chemical reaction can be represented as C, which is your carbon, plus O2, which is your oxygen, and that forms CO2. And I have given a triangle sign here. You will get surprised that what that this triangle is doing it here. Triangle is the representation of heat energy. We also call it enthalpy. So heat energy is given. And another example of combustion I am giving you, that is the burning of biogas for cooking. Biogas we use for cooking food because it is a very clean fuel. It burns completely and gives very high calorific value. So this biogas has the formula methane, CH4, I have written here, and it burns in the presence of oxygen and gives carbon dioxide, water vapor, and heat energy. So these are the basic concept of combustion that I have tried to give you in the introduction of the chapter. So after giving you idea about the combustion reaction, which is a chemical process, I move towards the history of combustion. Children, you should must know that what is the beginning of combustion in our universe, in our world, how we discovered the combustion or burning or fire. I will say fire. What is the discovery of fire? So combustion is the oldest technology of mankind. I have written here. Why I am writing it here? That it is the oldest technology because by the discovery or invention of burning or fire, the things suddenly moved on means the life started progressing, because we got a way, or we got a technique to generate heat. And when the heat is generated, then new ideas started coming up in the mind of the early man, that okay, now we can cook the food also, we don't need to eat it in the raw way. And then the cooked food was looking more delicious, it was more easily to digest, and that's how the evolution process taken off. It just taken off, which was a standstill by then. So fire, along with the earth, water, and air, you know that it is one of the most important elements. We say that earth, water, air, sky, and fire, these are the 5 basic elements which makes the universe. One of them is fire, and it is one of the most important element, I am saying. So fire has been used by mankind for a long time for various purposes, such as cooking, metal production, and in wars also fire is heavily used to burn the explosives and to give the light during the night, etc., by burning the wood and in the camps of the war. So this is the history of fire. Fire was ignited by some stones or the wood by rubbing them continuously, and then a small fire started coming out, which used to catch up some very light combustible substances like leaves, etc., and then they used to preserve the fire at their home, so that because the igniting the fire or bringing the fire was a difficult process. We didn't have at that time matchstick and lighter, more advancedly, that we are using now. So this is how the fire discovery was done, and it brought a big revolution in the process of evolution, and that is historical. Now I am taking you towards the types of combustion. What are the different types of combustion? Combustion basically is here there can be many more types as well, but here we have discussed keeping the syllabus of the NCERT also in the mind, that what are the different types of combustion given in the NCERT, and some extra knowledge also as usual I have tried to provide you. So the first type of combustion I will enable you to know will be your complete combustion. What is is complete combustion, children? Complete combustion is the best kind of combustion in which the combustible substance burns completely in an unlimited supply of air. Means the supply of air is so good that all the combustible substance burns and nothing remains unburnt, and in this case the situation is your complete combustion. The type of combustion becomes complete combustion, and it is the clean combustion. Why? Because when the substances burn completely, they do not give any pollutant, they do not give any smoke or soot, etc., and they only give the heat energy as well as carbon dioxide and water vapor. But these are not the bad kind of pollutant. Carbon dioxide only does the global warming if it is produced excessively. Otherwise it is the integral important byproduct of combustion. Without this, combustion cannot take place. So this is the complete combustion. Complete combustion is found only in the gaseous fuel because they burn completely, and that idea I have given you while I was telling you about the natural gases, because these are the gaseous fuels which burn completely. The second type of combustion I am ready to share my knowledge with you is your incomplete combustion. This is also called, children, dirty combustion. Why we call it dirty combustion? Because in this type of combustion, the substance which is your combustible substance does not burn completely, and it leaves soot, it leaves carbon monoxide instead of carbon dioxide, which is the result of the incomplete combustion, children, which is a very poisonous gas, and it suffocates us to death if we have inhaled it in excessive amount. So carbon monoxide is a very poisonous gas. That's why incomplete combustion is a very undesirable type of combustion, because it gives lots of smoke and does air pollution. And when it happens, when the combustible substance remains in the scarcity of oxygen, means the supply of the oxygen is very limited, and that does not get available to the all combustible substance. Some of the combustible substance burn and some remain unburned because they do not get sufficient oxygen, and in this way the combustion becomes incomplete, and which gives smoke, ash and soot. So what is the example of incomplete combustion? Like you have burnt a piece of paper, then you will get ash, you will get smoke, and you will get soot also. This is the incomplete combustion. Now try to learn about the rapid combustion. What is rapid? Rapid means fast, but here rapid is meant differently, children. It is most desirable kind of combustion which helps us to complete our task. So rapid combustion is done with a very good kind of fuel. First thing is that a good kind of fuel will show the rapid combustion, and rapid combustion is a continuous combustion which gives uniform heat energy from beginning to end when the fuel is available. Till the fuel is available, the last drop of the gasoline or diesel or any other fuel will be utilized properly to give the uniform heat energy. And this is why that when we drive our vehicle, we reach to the destination with the uniform speed that we have taken to drive, that we have chosen to drive, what kilometer per hour you have chosen to drive, that can be provided only by the combustible substances which show rapid combustion. And what combustible substances show rapid combustion, children? These are the CNGs, LPGs, gasoline, kerosene, diesel, etc. They show rapid combustion because it doesn't happen in the rapid combustion that in the start it will give very high amount of heat energy, and slowly as the combustible substance is getting over due to the burning, and it is coming in the less quantity, the combustion will become slower as well. It does not become slow, it remains equal from the beginning to end. And that is why this type of combustion helps us to do all type of activities which requires heat energy, like your cooking, like your driving, etc. Can only be done by the rapid combustion. So you don't get you can say just confused that the rapid combustion is very fast combustion. It is fast combustion, it gives light energy, heat energy, but it is uniformly produced. It does not mean that it will use all the combustible combustible substance together, and then after some time the combustible substance will get over and your work will remain partially done. No, this is not the situation. So this is the best kind of combustion, I will say. Now the fourth type of combustion that I have discussed here is your spontaneous combustion. This is not a desirable combustion, means this type of combustion is does not allow us to do any practical work of our day-to-day life. Why? Because this type of combustion does not require any source of heat energy, because when we ignite any substance, when we burn any substance, then it starts burning. Like you may have seen that we fire a matchstick or we fire a lighter, etc., to burn the combustible substances, and then it catches fire. But it is spontaneous combustion. As soon as we bring out the combustible substance and it gains the heat from the surrounding, at the room temperature itself it catches fire and it starts burning. So it is a very you can say risky thing, not a right type of combustion which will help us. White phosphorus, sodium, potassium, etc. are very reactive elements which catches fire. In case of white phosphorus, we keep it dipped inside the water. Why? Because the water is coolant, and the white phosphorus has a very low ignition temperature. Its ignition temperature. So white phosphorus is dipped inside the water because it has very low ignition temperature, which is just around 28 degrees Celsius. So at the room temperature only it gains the ignition temperature and then it starts burning. So we keep it cooled inside the water. Just like that, in the case of sodium and potassium, they are very reactive towards the air. That is why we keep it in breaking its contact from the air, and we dip it inside the kerosene oil. Now in position to sum up my class by giving you the right knowledge about the last type of combustion that I have discussed here today, and which is your explosive combustion. So what is explosive combustion, children? Explosive words actually sound very scary because it is taken from the explosion. And what explodes? You might have heard that the bomb explosion, etc., terrorist activities goes on in the different parts of the world, and which harms the life, which damages life, which kill people, which kill property, and which brings sadness and depression in our life. So when the combustion happens very fast, then suddenly the all combustible substance burn together, and they produce very large amount of heat, light and sound energy, and this results in the accidental kind of thing, and that is your explosion. And this explosion is undesirable kind of combustion, because with such type of combustion we can't do any work, but we try to protect us from the explosion. That is also a truth. So what are the examples of explosive combustion? Like we burn the firecrackers to produce illuminated light and all, which looks pretty in the night during the different ceremonies. And then you're blowing up of dynamites, yes, because the rocks are broken to make the roads, etc., in the hilly areas with the help of explosion of dynamite. So this was my class of combustion, where I tried to introduce the combustion topic by giving you the right idea of the different types of combustion and its history, etc. So you might have got benefited out of it, and you must have gained the knowledge. So keep the knowledge in the mind for the further class, because in my coming class this knowledge will come in use very much.